This deer season has definitely been a roller coaster. From passing on one of the biggest bucks on the property, to finding out that one of our shooter bucks wasn't as big as we had anticipated that he would have been. The season held a lot of question marks until SIXER stepped out. The story of SIXER really started in June. We started getting pictures of this buck when he was first starting to grow in velvet, and we could tell he was going to be a pretty decent deer. As time went on, we kept getting pictures and pictures of this deer, got some in velvet, trying to hone in on where he was on the property. After that July period, SIXER really went nocturnal. It was hard for us to get daylight pictures. I think from the beginning of bow season, which started in mid-September, I believe, here in central Kentucky, we had one daylight picture. And this picture just came randomly. It was mid-October, where they were starting to scrape and rub, and we had it on a scrape, and we just had one picture of SIXER walking past. And that was it. SIXER kind of fell off our target list. He was one of those bucks that Noah and I had said, if we ever get this deer in front of us, it's going to be hard to pass, but he's not our number one priority deer. And so as time went on, we really focused on JC, the Big Ten, and Split. And we realized Split wasn't as big as we had hoped that he would have been, so he kind of fell off, and that kind of left me in a hard spot, because I was like, I don't want to kill JC, but I really want to kill a deer. I hadn't killed a deer since 2015, so it's been 8 years since I've taken a buck, and everything just seemed like it fell together for this hunt. The night before SIXER stepped out, we had gotten trail cam pics of SIXER at like 8 o'clock at night, so we knew he was in the area, and from previous bucks that we had been getting pictures of, if we got those pictures the night before, they were typically there the night after or the morning after, and it was really strange. There was really good bedding around this field, and it just seemed to draw these deer in, especially during that rut time period. The morning hunt I saw 7 does, and I was like, there's no way there's no bucks in this area. It was getting later in November, so it was cold. We were starting to see that late rut activity start to kick in. These bucks had been run all over, but these mature bucks, they sometimes kick in later than these younger bucks do. So you'll start to see more mature deer on their feet. And that was true with SIXER. So like I said, that morning hunt, I saw 7 does. You know, I had 5 come out at one time, and I was like, there's no way there's not a buck. So after that evening sit, I was really worn out. I hadn't had any sleep. Deer season had kind of drained me, and I was just contemplating not going that afternoon. I was texting back and forth with Noah, and I was saying, dude, I don't think I'm gonna go this afternoon. Before that, I was optimistic, you know, staying confident, making sure every time I had time, I was in the woods, and I really sacrificed a lot of time away from my family, my girlfriend, and it just shows how much we put into these deer. But Noah said, dude, you need to go. You know, you never know. And it was funny because that afternoon before I went to sit, I said, dude, if SIXER steps out, I'm going to shoot him. And he said, dude, I would too. And I'll never forget that now. But so I got there that afternoon. I didn't really film a whole lot. I was tired. I wasn't expecting to see anything. It was warmer. It was about 55 degrees that afternoon. And I was like, these deer, they're probably not going to be moving very good until right before dark. And I think at like 4 o'clock, I had 4 does come out. And they came out on the edge of this bean field that hadn't been cut. And we had said from the get-go, this field's going to get legit. So the hope for that afternoon hunt was that SIXER was going to work his way back in that field. And with those 4 does in the field, I was primed and ready and hoping that he was going to be there. So as we started to get closer to that end of shooting light, the does started to get a little bit skittish, and all of a sudden I see a buck come out from the edge of the bean field. And I wasn't sure who it was at first, and when I picked my binoculars up and glassed him, I noticed it was SIXER. Pushing the does, and I only had about, I'd say, like 5 seconds to react. So I stood up and got my gun up, and by that time that I got the camera on him and the gun up, he was already heading up the edge of the field to where I wasn't going to have a shot. And I started to get upset. I was like, that was my chance, you know, that was the opportunity that I had with him. So I stayed ready. I kept my gun up and just hoped. There were still does down in the corn pile that we had put out earlier in the season. And all of a sudden I see does start heading back towards me. And I was like, oh my gosh, he might be coming back. And I see him come to the edge of the field, and I actually stopped him with my safety. He heard the click off of my safety, and I waited a little bit too long to shoot him. He started to walk as I shot, and the rest was history. This is the footage of SIXER. After that, we tracked the deer for a while. The deer ran into the corner of the field and I couldn't see. And we were looking through thick stuff, thick briar thickets, all that stuff. And lo and behold, Dad found him not even 30 yards away from where I had originally shot him. So made a clean shot and everything just came out how we wanted it to.
Holy cow, guys. What a buck. Thank you, Lord. Thanks everybody for helping me find him. There was no blood at all, guys. I made a good shot on him, it looks like, but he ran like 75 yards. Still in the field. We were looking in the woods through some thick stuff, and he was just laying down here. No daylight pictures of this deer at all. Just some nighttime pictures. He showed up at 8 o'clock last night, and me and Noah had been grinding. And I said, dude, if that deer walks out, I'm busting him. And he walked out right before shooting light went out. And just thank you guys for watching. We're gonna get this thing cleaned up. We'll get some better pictures up there, but God bless. We'll see you at the top.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We are super blessed to be able to do this and to film it, and it's just been a good roller coaster like from the beginning. Thank you guys so much again. God bless, and we'll see you at the top.